Get down.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry. Good start. Thank you, Madam Clerk. I will call the meeting to order. At this time, I would like to take a moment of silence and remember of our veterans that have fallen. Thank you, everybody. Lest we forget. Our land acknowledgement statement. We acknowledge with respect the history, spirituality, and culture of the Anishinaabe, the people of the three fires known as Ojibwe, Odawa, and Potawatomi nations who have inhabited this land from time immemorial. Further give thanks to the Chippewa Saugeen, the Chippewa Nawash, now known as the Saugeen Ojibwe Nation, as the traditional keepers of this land. We also recognize the Métis and Inuit who ancestors share this land and these waters. May we all, as treaty people, live with respect on this land and live in peace and friendship with all diverse people. Moving on to the agenda. Would any member like to add anything to our agenda here tonight? Seeing none, I have a recommendation here. Oh, sorry, I want to add something to the agenda. I'm going to ask the director of operations to update us on some projects and so on that he's been doing. We'll do it under new business. Okay. The recommendation is that a verbal update regarding ongoing operations related projects be added to new business. And the agenda be approved as amended. Someone to move to put it on the floor, please. Moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor Thompson. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? See none, a show of hands, all in favor of the motion? The motion is carried. Declaration of pecuniary interest. You can clear any time you see fit during the meeting. Councillor Pringle is running a few minutes late, but he will be joining us in a few minutes. Minutes of the previous minutes. That the minutes of the council meeting held on October 20th, 2021 be adopted. Someone to move to put it on the floor, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Carlton, second by Councillor Barfoot. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? See none. A show of hands, all in favor? Motion is carried. Councillor Barfoot? Thank you. Okay, moving on to the agenda, we're down to special council. That the minutes of the following special meetings of council be adopted. October 15th, 2021, October 21st, 2021, October 27th, 2021, and October 29th, 2021. Someone to move to put it on the floor, please. Moved by Councillor Colburn, second by Councillor Barfoot. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? See none, a show of hands, all in favor? The motion is carried. We have no announcements, no public hearings, no delegation. We're down to the consent agenda. Is there any item council member would like to pull from the agenda for further discussion? Deputy Mayor Carlton.
I just have a question that has to do with the library board minutes. So I don't know if we have to actually pull those minutes or if it's a question I could ask Councillor Thompson about negotiations for the new contract.
I think we'll pull it. We'll pull it and we'll get Councillor Thompson to ask at that time. That's 9.2.1.
Probably 9.2.2.
Two.
Most recent.
Okay. Okay, there's no other items that want to be pulled. Seeing none. The recommendation is that the Council of the Township of Georgian Bluffs adopt the consent agenda for information as circulated less 9.2.2. Someone to move to put on the floor, please. Moved by Councillor Barfoot, second by Councillor Thompson. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? Seeing none, show of hands, all in favor? The motion is carried. So, Deputy Mayor Carlton, please ask your question to Councillor Thompson.
Councillor Thompson, I'm just wondering how the negotiations are going. And the reason I ask is I know that I think your one meeting, we had something else going on here and you wouldn't be able to make it to that one. Thank you.
Councillor Thompson, go ahead.
Thanks, Deputy Mayor. I was a little hasty. We moved through, does anybody have any new items? And immediately after that, I wished I'd added this. So thank you for bringing that forward. So you're right. It is the time of year that we move into negotiations, and all the councils were set to meet. They've been looking for a time this fall, but it had been an extreme challenge because they couldn't get everybody together at the same time. So all that to say, our first meeting is tomorrow night. So Councillor Pringle and I are set to meet with our partners from Meaford, Owen Sound, and Chatsworth tomorrow night at Owen Sound for the first time.
Thank you, Councillor Thompson.
Thank you. That answers my question.
Okay. So moving on for our agenda, we're down to correspondence. We have item Enbridge Gas Relations Survey. Deputy Mayor Carlton, you want to speak to this?
I asked to have that put on here because, and I'm sure everyone in council probably received the same survey request that I did. And it just stipulated that they would donate $50 to a charity. So the survey actually came through today and I did it. And in that, they stipulate that they give $50 for the municipality to Habitat for Humanity. So in the first request for the survey, it didn't say anything about where those funds would go. And that's why I had put it on. But apparently they are directing those funds to Habitat for Humanity for every municipality who has anyone who fills out the survey. So that's all it was on there for. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I did take the survey today too, and the question I had going through my small mind was that did they give $50 to Habitat for everyone that done the survey, or just?
I read it as being only one donation per municipality.
Any comments, Madam Clerk?
As it reads in the email, it says to recognize your contribution to the study, each participating municipality will have a $50 donation made on its behalf to the charity. So it's one $50 donation on behalf of the municipality, not on behalf of each completed survey.
Okay, I just thought I would bring that up, and maybe they might want to donate for everyone that took the survey. That's all. Okay, that's fine. So we're moving on with our agenda. Committee reports. The recommendation is that the minutes of the Committee of the Whole meeting held on November 3rd, 2021 be adopted, including recommendations COW 2021-105 to COW 2021-111. Someone to move, put on the floor, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Carlton, second by Councillor Colburn. And Councillor Colburn, did you want to make a statement about one of these items? Please go ahead.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under 12.1.6, the Remembrance Day celebration. Unfortunately, because of a scheduling conflict, I'm unable to attend the Chatsworth event tomorrow, and I just wanted to let council know.
Thank you, Councillor Colburn. I wonder, since our Director of Operations will be in Chatsworth, if council would allow him to place a wreath on behalf of the Township of Georgian Bluffs. Would that be acceptable? And Director of Operations, would you be able to do that for us? Thank you, Steve. Okay. So if there's no other discussion on the motion before us, show of hands, all in favor of the motion. The motion is carried. We're down to staff reports. We have none. Public question period. Madam Clerk, has there been any questions? No? Okay. No zoning bylaws, no other bylaws, unfinished business, none, new business. I'm going to this time ask the Director of Operations to update us on our construction projects you have on the go here in the area. Steve, the floor is yours. Welcome, Councillor Pringle.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to council this evening, just to kind of give an update on where we're at with all our projects. So Church Side Road, ditching program there, drainage issues there. We've got the box culvert ordered for the bottom end of Balmy Beach there in Church intersection. We're just waiting for GTEL to finish up their final locates there, and then the contractor will start the ditching program all the way up to Grey Road 1. Centennial entrance, we're just waiting for the GTEL locate there. Everything's ready to go for the removal of the entrance and repadding, and then trying to rebuild that up here. So we'll have this done and complete by next week. Concession 7 between Side Road 3 and Grey Road 16. Pulverization of that road has started and is currently ongoing. We'll have the granulars in place by the end of the week. Second pulverization will be beginning at the next week, and then asphalt will be laid next week as well. So then that road will be nice and closed up. Balmy Beach ditching project, that is now officially completed. So all ditches have been cleaned out. We will be coming back in the spring in Balmy Beach to remove some culverts, replace some centerline pipes there. So that's going to be a capital project for next year. Roadside brushing program will be resuming next week with our winter operations schedule with the staff. We'll be continuing on in our Keppel area with our roadside tree removal of dead trees and stuff like that. And then also we finalized some other areas where ditching is required this year as well. So the ditching project will be officially completed as of Friday this week. So that is basically all our updates for this next few weeks. So we'll continue on our progress.
Thank you, Steve. It sounds like you and your guys are extremely busy, and that's great. Great to see that. Does council have any questions from our Director of Operations for our projects? Councillor Barfoot, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Director of Operations. Don't know quite how to word this, Steve, so bear with me. In the past, when the City of Owen Sound had upgraded and installed larger underground services going up 10th Street West Hill, there was discussion between, at that time, it would be Derby Township, I guess, and the city about not necessarily shared services, but buying services. And I wonder if that thought has ever crossed anybody's mind, since they're going to be right across the road from Georgian Bluffs and probably less than a half a mile from Potawatomi Village. Has there been any discussion between you and the Director of Operations from the city? Or is there any hope of there being any discussion?
It's a good question, Councillor Barfoot. I'll turn it over to Steve. Go ahead.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Barfoot, thank you for bringing that to our attention. We will reach out to the City of Owen Sound on Friday there just to see what's going on and see if there is a potential for us to kind of work together on some projects and collaboration there. So thank you. We'll take that under consideration and continue on our process.
I get, sorry, Mr. Mayor, sort of another comment.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I've heard several times since the city turned them down years ago about how that was not economically a wise decision, because if they had been, I understand water users that live outside of the city are paying 1.5 times. So the city actually could have assisted some of their work financially if they had sold services. I definitely think it's worth pursuing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Barfoot.
Through you, Mr. Mayor, to Councillor Barfoot, yeah, we will definitely reach out to the City of Owen Sound to see what we can kind of work together on a project.
Thank you, Steve. So moving on for agenda, Councillor Pringle, we are down now to notice of motions. Does any member of council wish to bring a notice of motion forward? Councillor Colburn.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor Burley, through you to council, I give notice of motion regarding development of a whistleblower policy, sometimes referred to as disclosure of wrongdoing and reprisal protection. Such a policy would prohibit the municipality from taking punitive measures against whistleblowing employees because of their whistleblowing activity that could adversely affect their employment. This includes threats, intimidation, or coercion in relation to the employee's employment. In addition, I ask that council will approve a policy on mandatory training for staff and all of council, Mr. Mayor, in order to ensure a zero tolerance approach to workplace harassment and violence. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Coburn, and you'll work with the clerk to bring that notice of motion forward.
My notice of motion, Mr. Mayor, has already been developed and provided to the clerk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Coburn. If there's no other notice of motions, I'll move forward with our agenda. Oh, Councillor Barfoot, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Through you to Councillor Coburn. We have nothing in place at the present time pertaining to this.
Councillor Coburn, go ahead and answer.
There are statements made through you, Mr. Mayor, to council and in particular, Councillor Barfoot. There are statements to this effect in our HR policy binder, but I don't believe that the wording is robust enough and it doesn't specifically address protection for whistleblowing employees.
Thank you, Councillor Coburn. Councillor Barfoot, does that answer your question?
Excellent idea, and I think it's something that all of council should endorse. And I think staff should know that all of council stands behind this. Thank you.
Thank you. Look forward to the discussion. So moving off our agenda, we're down to our closed session. And the recommendation is that the Council of the Township of George and Bluffs move into closed session at 5:17 p.m. with the interim CEO clerk to discuss 1 minute of previous closed sessions. Someone to move to put on the floor, please. Moved by Deputy Mayor Carlson, second by Councillor Pringle. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? Seeing none, show of hands, all in favor? The motion is carried. So please go into your closed session agendas.
Brian, we're now back in open session. If you can please enable the live stream. Mr. Mayor, please go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We are now back in open session. I would like to make the comment that, for the public record, that our closed sessions to date have not been recorded as per our procedural bylaw. Our clerk has put safe checks and balances in place so it never happens again. So including our meeting tonight is being recorded as per our procedural bylaw. So I'm going to move on to the agenda. We're down to a confirming bylaw. Bylaw number 2021-76, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council on November 10th, 2021, be read a first, second, third time, finally passed, signed by the mayor and clerk, sealed to seal the corporation, and endorsed in the bylaw book. Someone to move to put on the floor, please. Moved by Councilor Pringle, second by Deputy Mayor Carlton. Is there any discussion on the motion before us? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion? Carol? Is Carol still here with us? Oh, okay, thanks. The motion is carried. Our next meeting will be November 17th, 2021 at 5 o'clock. Just so everybody knows, I need one more motion, a motion to adjourn. Moved by Councilor Colburn, second by Councilor Pringle. If there's no discussion on that motion, show of hands, all in favor of the motion to adjourn. We're now adjourned. Thank you, everybody.